Professor Kathy Robinson, President of the Association, to make some concluding remarks and offer a small token of appreciation to our distinguished invitee and keynote speaker. Thank you, Professor Robinson.
So, good morning, everybody. Your Excellency Hugh Van Lay, Ambassador McCarthy, Uncle Lewis O'Brien, Mr. Francis Wong from the University of Adelaide Council, Mr. Stuart Simons from Santos, Tan Sri Munir, who's one of our distinguished invited speakers, Professor Punendra Jain and Dr. Jerry Groot, and other members of the organising committee, delegates, members of the ASAA. I add my welcoming words to those that we've already heard, but I'd also, on behalf of the association, like to express our most heartfelt thanks to all of these distinguished people sitting before us, to His Excellency the Lieutenant Governor and Mr. Michael Abbott, who are the sponsors of our who are the patrons of our conference, to Mr. Lewis O'Brien for his welcome, to the support that we've got from the University of Adelaide and Santos as the principal sponsors of the conference. But I'd perhaps just like to say a few special words of thanks to Ambassador McCarthy for his words, which I think probably spoke very much to the hearts of a lot of us who are Asianists. The Asian Studies Association has been in existence for about 4 decades, and it was formed as Asian Studies in Australia came to some maturity after its early beginnings after World War II, when Australia suddenly had this wake-up call. We are located in this particular part of the world, and we need to come to terms with and engage with our region. I think that the Ambassador's words about cultural diplomacy strike a very responsive chord, because the members of the Asian Studies Association are people who've developed their expertise and who've devoted their professional lives, and indeed most of their adult lives, to the study of Asia and to working with Asia. And another thing I'd like to comment, there's been a few comments made on the number of Asian scholars who are now attending our conferences. And I think the kind of networking that happens in the context of Asian studies between the students who come from Asia to study here, Australian academics and students, the Asian scholars who choose to come to attend our conferences, are a very important aspect of that cultural diplomacy. And that body of expertise that's been built up by the dedicated Asian scholars of Australia and those Asian scholars in their networks are a very important resource. But it's a kind of a national treasure which is really under threat. Those scholars who formed the Asian Studies Association 4 decades ago are now ageing, greying, etc. And we do have a real concern that, in spite of a lot of the rhetoric about the importance of Asia literacy and the importance of engaging with Asia, that body of expertise is not being replenished in the context of the contemporary Australian university. And this is of great concern. A lot of our Asianists don't sit in an identifiable part of the university called Asian Studies. They sit in history departments, economics departments, geography departments, cultural studies, women's studies, all sorts of parts of the university. So it's very hard to keep track of the ways in which that expertise is actually being consolidated. But I suppose from the point of view of the association, we would see that body of expertise as a really important underpinning of the cultural diplomacy that we all acknowledge is so important. Government, business need to come to that body of academic expertise, or need to call on the students that we train in order to prosecute that cultural diplomacy. Now, the Asian Studies Association is a voluntary association. This biennial conference is one of our major activities where we all come together and replenish our enthusiasm and get away from our daily grind of our institutions and embrace the kind of research and conversation about Asia that we all find so exciting, and that for most of us is our kind of professional life's blood. So we're incredibly indebted to the conference organisers and to our sponsors and our patrons, because without these people, the conference couldn't happen. We don't have a secretariat in our association. We're totally run on voluntary labour. Since I've been president, I'm absolutely bowled over by the amount of goodwill and the amount of energy that my colleagues in Asian Studies are prepared to give towards the activities of the association, the conference being the main one, but also our publication series, our journal, and also our prizes that we will celebrate during this conference, through which we celebrate the excellence of Asian Studies. So once again, I express my sincere gratitude to all of the people who've been involved in bringing this event to fruition, which for us is our carnival and our festival of celebration of our enthusiasm for scholarship on Asia. And on behalf of the association, I'd especially like to offer this small gift to Ambassador McCarthy for his most stimulating and scintillating talk that I'm sure will get us going through the next 3 days. So thank you very much.
Ambassador, I hope you will enjoy that from McLaren Vale, our local produce. I just want to remind you about tonight's, we start our breakout sessions this morning at 11. We have got several invited speakers this afternoon, and in the evening we have got the Santos keynote speech by Tanjri Dr. Munir, who is with us this morning. And now I invite everyone, and thank you for coming along, and I invite everyone to morning tea. Thank you very much.